King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. The book starts out with the story of King Arthur and his wife Igraine. This is a sad love story because Igraine doesn't love the king. Then they have a boy named Arthur and give him to Merlin the wizard. Then Arthur pulled a sword out of a stone. According to legend, whoever did this was the rightful King of England. He becomes the King of England and becomes a great leader. He creates the Round Table of Knights, gets his new sword, Excalibur, and fights against treason to the throne. The book follows him through these adventures and many more. My favorite chapter in this book is chapter 7. There is a love story like Aşk-ı Memnu, a Turkish classic romance, and I also saw in this book that people can do everything because of their ambitions. You should read it if you like medieval times, knights, and love stories. Adrenaline. A long time ago, far away in the kingdom of Temeria, ruled a cruel king named Radovid. The king did not care about his people at all, because the only matter that mattered to him was defeating his enemies from the north and reclaiming the rest of the continent. Unfortunately, those were not the only enemies. Due to a magical catalysm called the Conjunction of the Spheres, people's greatest threats were the mighty monsters at the doors. Ogres, vampires, and hungry werewolves were destroying the villages and killing the poor. So, in order to defend themselves from these horrors, the kingdom created the so-called hexes. They were mutants created from banned potions in order to sharpen their senses and upgrade their strength abilities. The greatest hexer among them all was Vesemir, who had a diplomatic relationship with King Radovid, because he was being paid by him to kill the strongest monsters. He was clearly exhausted from all the work, so he decided to take a break and go on a holiday to the beautiful landscapes of Toussaint. It wasn't long until 4 imperial horsemen arrived. Master Vesemir, the kingdom is in great danger and clearly need of your help. Okay, Commander, whispered Vesemir in a trace of disappointment in his words, and rode straight back to Temeria. There he was not properly welcomed by the people, who started shouting at him, "You steal Imperial gold, Hexer!" or "We don't want your kind here!" But he even heard the word monster. It was kind of ironic, seeing that people treated him like the monstrosities he was protecting them from. But Vesemir did not care about all those words. He was in terms with the fact that no matter what he does, people will always judge him by his different look and not for his actions. So he found the King Radovid having a feast with a noble family. But the strangest part was the fact that the noble family was in reality the northern rulers and great enemies of the king. It was consisted of 3 small children and 2 kindly parents. Unfortunately, they clearly weren't happy with Vesemir's arrival. "I thought you were trying to make an alliance with me, Radovid, not bring your pet at the feast," said the ruler. "There is no need to fight anymore, my friends. We are here to put an end to this bloody war and celebrate at last with our friends," Radovid responded. So said the king, and the feast started. Later that night, King Radovid decided to make a toast. "To my fellow comrades from the north, we can rule the kingdom together, very wise indeed. But now that I see you all here at my castle, I shall give you the hospitality you deserve." "Guards!" he yelled, and in a matter of seconds 6 imperial guards surrounded the family and started beating up the parents. The kids started screaming, panicked. "Mommy! Daddy!" they cried. On the other side, the king started laughing and giggling. "Why are you doing this, Radovid?" said the northern ruler. "Do you think I will ever forget what you did to my people, the battlefields?" screamed the king angrily. "We can put an end to this once for all, together." Yes, yes, we can," responded Radovid mockingly. Vizimir, will you do the honors and kill those scums finally?" "My lord, this isn't the way," said the Hexer, panicked. So Radovid gave him a look filled with anger and disgust. "You will do as I command, you useless monster! Now go." Vizimir approached the two children, White wielding his steel and sharp sword. "No, Hexer, please, don't kill our parents!" screamed the young ones. "Close your eyes," said Vizimir while changing direction straight to the king's throne. Radovid was panicked and scared. What are you doing?" he said, confused. "Killing monsters," said the Hexer, and the feast ended with blood. Wizard of Oz. Dorothy and her dog Toto find themselves in the beautiful but dangerous land of Oz after being swept away from Kansas in a cyclone. After her house lands in Oz, Dorothy meets the Munchkins. They are in awe of her, supporting her to be a powerful sorceress because her house landed on and killed the Wicked Witch of the East. Dorothy knows better, and she wants to go home. The Good Witch of the North can't tell her how to do that, but she does give Dorothy a kiss of magical protection and a pair of silver shoes, and sound advice. Then she sends Dorothy to ask the Wizard of Oz, who lives in Emerald City, for directions home. You can also watch its movie. It's an interesting, fantastic story full of adventure, of the way of Dorothy meets new friends and they live the adventures together. World Book and Copyright Day. World Book and Copyright Day is a celebration to promote the enjoyment of books and reading. Each year, on 23rd of April, celebrations take place all over the world to recognize the scope of books, a link between the past and the future, a bridge between generations and across cultures. On this occasion, UNESCO and the international organizations representing the three major sectors of the book industry, publishers, booksellers, and libraries, select the World Book Capital for a year to maintain, through its own initiatives, the impetus of these celebrations. 23 April is a symbolic date in world literature. It is the date on which several prominent authors, William Shakespeare, Miguel de Cervantes, and Inca Garcilaso de la Vega all died. This date was a natural choice for UNESCO's General Conference held in Paris in 1995 to pay a worldwide tribute to books and authors on the date, encouraging everyone to access books. By championing books and copyright, UNESCO stands up for creativity, diversity, and equal access to knowledge, with the work across the board, from the Creative Cities of Literature Network to promoting literacy and mobile learning and advancing open access to scientific knowledge and educational resources. With the active involvement of all stakeholders, authors, publishers, teachers, librarians, public and private institutions, humanitarian NGOs, and the mass media, and all those who feel motivated to work together in this world celebration of books and authors, World Book and Copyright Day has become a Watch, read and listen. What to watch? I will write about a movie I watched in the days when we had to stay in this house. I wanted to watch this movie for a long time, but I didn't have time. This is a movie I wish I had watched before. Truman Show. The leading role is Jim Carrey. I think it has a script that distinguishes this movie from other movies. In the movie, we see Truman, who has a wonderful and routine life. But this routine life is changing at once. I will not talk about any more movies to avoid spoilers. But if I have to say my thoughts, I was amazed by the courage of Truman. In addition, the end of the movie gives the feeling of being missing. But I think it is the movie that must be watched. What to read? Robert Langdon, Dan Brown, Angels and Demons, The Da Vinci Code, The Lost Symbol, Inferno, Origin. Dan Brown shows us how connected art and science are, and actually both are from history in this amazing series of 5 books. You can enter museums, visit sarcophagi, and greet Newton, traveling by a Tesla and by a jet. What to listen? Well, we don't know your musical taste. Have you already tried classical music? Below we've listed some of our favourite, well, not songs, but compositions of the genre. We hope that you enjoy.